You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Thank you for joining me here today on our Total Wellness Tuesday show. Always happy to have you. And what we're looking at today is, what are the causes? Is there one specific central theme going on across so many different wellness and weight loss-based issues and aging-based issues and cognitive decline or brain-based issues? Is there one thing missing that if we did that, we could see a huge benefit? So that's what I always try to see. I try to see themes and I look for how can all of these seemingly separate things all be related? So we're looking at it today, and I mentioned in the title of today's show, essentially, are you suffering from headaches, sleep issue, fatigue, maybe some muscle spasms or cramping, even in the gut itself? Pain, whether it's muscle-based or joint-based? Do you have any numbing or tingling going on in your extremities, like your hands and feet? What about even something like fibromyalgia, where it's kind of like mystery pain and it's moving around your body? Inflammation. What about brain-based issues, where you kind of have brain fog or fuzzy thinking? And a lot of times the anxiety we're feeling, or kind of like that racing heart rate, or ADD, ADHD, even low-level depression, can all have to do, again, I know these things all seem unrelated. Like, how can someone have sleep issues but also be fatigued, right? That doesn't make any sense. The insomnia, well, shouldn't they fall right to sleep? Well, not always. And what about the headaches? How is that related then to sleep? How are the headaches related to possibly even anxiety? Well, let's look at that today. And I want you to start to look at your symptoms in a little bit different manner. I want you to think of your body going forward as something that's connected at a holistic level. Okay, that's WHOL, holistic. Your entire body is one living, breathing entity. Your heart is not separate from your lungs. Your lungs are not separate from your brain. I mean, you can just think about right now, like your heart and lungs are pumping oxygen, right? Pumping oxygen. Well, your brain needs oxygen, right? Your liver helps to manufacture glucose. Well, your brain needs glucose. Like, everything is interconnected. If you feel pain in your muscles or joints, well, that's connected to your nervous system. And your nervous system is connected to your brain and vice versa. So we're getting the signals throughout our body, and all those cells are affected by other cells and other nervous system-based impulses. I want you to keep nervous system in the back of your mind for one moment before we get into that. Well, keep in mind that our body is run on vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and the macros, the proteins, the carbs, the fats, which lead to all of those vitamins, minerals, enzymes, neurotransmitters, everything in our body, right? And it's our digestive system. That's why we're always so big on the digestive system here. And our digestive systems break down, starting at chewing in your mouth, your stomach. So that's why if you have H. pylori, if you have weak stomach acid or any of these things, you're not going to be able to properly break down all of those foods, namely your proteins. And then the bile is not going to help to emulsify all the fats and further break down the food as it reaches our intestines. And then if our intestines are filled with yeast and fungus and bacterial overgrowth, like so many people's are, or parasites, well, then we're not being able to then extract the nutrients, which are the vitamins, the minerals, the enzymes, all of those things to be manufactured then into neurotransmitters, things like serotonin, that help to boost our mood. Well, if none of that is going well at a digestive level, we can't expect to extract those nutrients. So that's why I want you to see that yes, we know B12 and B6. We know those B vitamins that we spoke about last week are needed to prevent things like Alzheimer's and dementia and nervous system-based issues. But we don't get those unless we're breaking down our food well enough. And we don't break down our food well enough if our digestive system isn't working well. And our digestive system won't be working well if we're always anxious, right? So you can see how everything is interrelated and interconnected. And that's why when myself or another functional medicine practitioner or naturopathic doctor or any health coach who knows what they're talking about, works with someone. We can't just say, oh, well, take this for that, take this for this. No, you have to work with the whole person. You need to know their story. There's a reason why I do at least a 60-minute intake consult, and I don't give any recommendations after that consultation. I know everybody wants immediate recommendations. That's not what I do. But that's why I'm able to help people, is because I'm going to take all of that information in, lots of it, and then I'll decide if we should run additional labs or not. And then I'll get all of that data from labs and from your story, and then I'll put together a full consultation, a full protocol, I should say, that gives you all of those things laid out. And you don't need to work with me. This is how most naturopathic doctors, functional medicine doctors will work with you. And again, if they have the experience, if they work with people like you, if they got results, which is even more important for people like you, you're going to be able to get that result. But I want you to think about it yourself, regardless of whether you see a natural health practitioner or not. What do you need to know? What you need to know is this, is that everything is interconnected and interrelated. And that's why when I share with you right now, this one missing thing, this one food, this one mineral of how it can help all these things, you can say to yourself, now I get it. It's not because it's a drug. It's because it helps across all these different platforms. And I've mentioned it before because it's such an important mineral. And why are we missing this mineral? It's simply because we're lacking in getting a lot of the foods that it's contained in. Okay, that's one. Two is our digestive systems have become so weakened from processed food, from alcohol, ibuprofen, such as Advil, women who've taken birth control, antibiotics, all of these things, that we're simply not able to break down our food as well. So we can eat the best foods in the world. Totally agree with you. We should eat the best foods in the world. Absolutely. No doubt about it. But here's the thing. If you can't break it down, you can't get it into your cells. That's the bottom line. All right. So what am I talking about today? I'm talking about the mineral magnesium. Magnesium, you've heard me mention it before. And why would magnesium help with the sleep, the anxiety, the mood, the insomnia, the fatigue, the headaches, the ADHD? You know, why does it help across all of those platforms? Here's why. Magnesium, we're just talking about this one thing that magnesium does. It's a lot like vitamin C. I've spoken about this in the past. Magnesium helps to potentiate the effect of many other different minerals, vitamins, and neurotransmitters. But it also does something even more, in my opinion. The more I study magnesium, the more I study human physiology and psychology, I understand that magnesium is a natural sedative. It's a natural calming. It has natural calming properties for the central nervous system. So what that means is when your nervous system is buzzing and you're stressed and you're overwhelmed and you feel tension, and you might not even feel it because it could be your new normal. I talk about that all the time with people. Hey, this is just your normal. You think it's normal. You've never actually felt what it really feels like to be relaxed. Like, for example, can you just sit down in a room with no music, no TV, no iPads, no phone, no conversation, nothing, and just sit there and relax? Can you do that? If you can't, you know that you're buzzing, that you can't calm down their body. Well, what happens is this. If you're always amped up and you never turn it down, it starts to burn out your body at a cellular level. Well, what does that mean? Well, you just start to run through all of your B vitamins. You start to use up even more magnesium because your body needs to calm itself down and bring it to homeostasis with magnesium. Now, it uses other things as well. There's no doubt about it. But it's magnesium that helps keep calcium in check, that helps to vasodilate, that means relax and dilate your blood vessels. It helps to calm both your brain and body at a nervous system level. Well, what does that mean? Well, it helps to switch you into the parasympathetic nervous system. It helps to shut down the fight or flight, which is the sympathetic nervous system. And when you can do that, well, what happens in the parasympathetic nervous system? You get to repair. You get to rebuild. You get to rejuvenate. And that's why magnesium, especially before bed, is so important. Because it's okay to go in and out of the fight or flight during the day. It's okay to be stressed in and out during the day. Not the whole day, not straight through from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's not okay, right? We need the balance. But what we need to do is make sure that we get out of the fight or flight based conditions. And so what I named before, if you were kind of remembering those, and you remember I said keep nervous system in the back of your mind, that's because ADHD, the headaches, the tension, right? The constipation even, the fatigue, the insomnia, the spasms, the arrhythmia, even the heart arrhythmias, the tingling, the fibromyalgia-based pain. All of those things are fight or flight, high nervous system, inflammation, tension-based, healing-based, or wellness-based disorders. So the opposite of those things are calming, are relaxing. If you can't sleep, there could be a lot running on your mind right now. You might have high levels of norepinephrine, high levels of adrenaline, high levels of cortisol, and you can't bring them back down. Sure, you can do a sleep-based test. Sure, you can do adrenal-based hormone test. You can, no doubt about it. You can also do a hair tissue mineral analysis, which is my highest recommendation. If you want to find out if you're low in magnesium, run a hair tissue mineral analysis. We'll link it up for you today in today's show notes. Just go to stephencabral.com/592. But if you don't, I'm going to give you the foods right now that you can start to increase to better boost your magnesium levels, to calm the central nervous system, to calm the spasms and the cramping, to decrease the inflammation, to improve the circulation. That means your brain is now going to get more oxygen. Trust me, your brain likes oxygen, a lot of oxygen. It wants glucose, it wants oxygen. Really, really important. Magnesium is also another thing it's really good for is blood sugar regulation. So even if you're talking about, well, what I really want to do is lose weight. Well, to lose weight, keep in mind, you can't be stressed all day. You can't be producing all that cortisol. Why? Because it starts to lower your thyroid. And if your thyroid starts to become reduced, your metabolism becomes reduced. All of these things are interconnected. That's all I want you to see today. I'm going to give you the magnesium, which is going to help get you started. I'm going to give you the top 10 sources that I like. But here's the thing. You have to understand this, and this is so important, is that no matter who you're getting your information from, unless they're showing you the connections between your specific conditions right now and the rest of your body, you're not going to be able to heal. You won't. You're not able to heal gut-based conditions just on taking this herb, just on eating that food. You have to look at it too from being able to calm the body. And that's why when I help people on gut-based issues, whether it's IBS, Crohn's, colitis, SIBO, Candida, H. pylori, parasites, whatever it might be, yes, I want to help eradicate those things. And we do it exceptionally well. I don't believe there's anybody who does it better. I really believe that. And that's simply because there's no ego involved. If someone was doing it better, I'd be doing it like they're doing. Like, honestly, that's it. Why wouldn't I be? Or promoting theirs. I've always said that in the past. And with Equilibrium Nutrition, if you look at our Candida and bacterial overgrowth protocol, only 3 out of the 9 products, I believe, somewhere around there, are my products. And that's because they didn't exist in the marketplace. I promote the best of the best. And ideally, I wouldn't have to create anything because it costs a lot of money to create all these things. So what I want you to think is this, though, is how are they connected? And so when you're healing your gut, if you're still stressed, that SIBO, it can come right back. So what I want to do is get you better from both a physiological and psychological level. But I also want you to be able to calm your mind, calm your body. And magnesium is one of the best ways to do that. And honestly, it's really simple and it works quickly, typically within a maximum of 3 to 4 weeks. A lot of the people that I work with, a lot of people that honestly just in the show who have taken my advice, who have used the full spectrum magnesium supplement or something like Natural Calm before bed or any one of these things, very inexpensive to do, or just increase their high magnesium foods, they felt the effects almost immediate within like a week. Now, you can't get that right away through food. You can get it through nutritional supplements, so I'll give you both. But I want you to start looking at food also as your medicine. Because at the end of the day, the nutritional supplements, yes, they work, and I do recommend them for 4 to 6 months, maybe ongoing, but at a lower dosage, maybe ongoing, right? But I want you to continue to improve your digestion and then get it through food. So let's go through some of those foods right now. Now, I'm going to give you actually 10 vegan varieties because a lot of people who listen to this show, they don't eat meat, okay? Totally respect that. They don't eat fish. I respect that as well, or eggs. And they want to get them through vegan plant-based. Now, I think even if you're not vegan, you can get tremendous benefit by increasing more of the alkaline-based, more of the high mineral-based, more of the high fiber-based foods that also include magnesium. So let's go over those today. All right, so the biggest category is your dark leafy greens for magnesium. Now, you don't have to eat them raw because a lot of people with digestive issues, I'm not recommending raw food because they don't have the digestive strength yet. You can eat the raw in the future, but right now they don't have the digestive strength and it's going to cause bloating. So let's try to get some of those leafy greens through our cooked vegetables as well. Now, I'm going to give you all leafy greens are great. Like you can go with turnip-based greens and mustard greens, and you can go with romaine lettuce. But really, a few of my favorites are these. Swiss chard, I love rainbow chard, one of my favorites, and spinach. And I'll cook both of those. I actually blend spinach with my smoothies in the morning. I do a huge handful. I write a cup in my smoothie guide. Again, my smoothie guide is free. If you just go to stevecabral.com/podcast or /today's show, go to stevecabral.com/592. Just scroll down the page. You can just click on it. You'll get the free smoothie guide absolutely free. So a couple of my favorites of this, I'm going to name these as 2 out of my 10 because they're that important. 2 out of the 10 are the Swiss chard, okay? Any variety of Swiss chard that you like, and spinach, okay? So those are 2 out of my 10 right there. How do I cook them? People always ask. I do not cook anything in oil. Trust me on this. The rancidity from oil is creating just as many health issues as a high sugar diet as well. Just as many. Seriously. You have to understand, when you take these oils that were not in that solid form before, they're a liquid now. You expose them to heat, they become denatured. They create more free radical damage in your body. That means more inflammation. They gum up or they weaken the actual cell membrane, which is your cell membrane. Keep in mind, your cells are called bilipid membranes. Bi just meaning 2. Hard fats, soft fats. If you start to change that molecular structure, you won't be able to absorb all the magnesium you need. You won't. You won't be able to absorb. You won't be able to take in all of the glucose that your cells need. It'll be stuck in your bloodstream. And then you have type 2 diabetes and they said, oh, okay, I have to go on a low carb diet. Well, sure you do, because now your cells can absorb the sugar. But if you get your cells back to normal structure, they can absorb the glucose again. They really can. I mean, that is literally how it works. So I cook my greens in a little bit of water. That's it. Like literally get out a pan, put in a little bit of water, put the greens in, cover it up. Again, keep all the nutrients right in there. And there you go. It's that simple. Then what do I do afterwards? Afterwards, I'll add a little sea salt, which is my next one. And I will add in some olive oil as well. Really, I mean, just delicious. Olive oil. I squeeze lemon on it or lime, and I do some sea salt. That's all you need. You get your acidity from the lemon or the lime. I like lime. And you get a little bit of that salt from the Himalayan sea salt or your pink salt. And you get the olive oil. It's absolutely delicious. And those fats also help to improve the absorption of other things like vitamin E and vitamin K in your greens. So it's really the best of both worlds. Okay, I've got to move on because I could talk about that all day. All right, so my next one, as I just already gave it away, is Himalayan sea salt. Not table salt, not iodized salt that has aluminum in it, that's just straight sodium chloride. I'm talking about Himalayan pink salt or Redmond's real salt. These things contain the trace minerals. So besides the sodium, the salt, it also contains magnesium. Now, the reason why I like the Himalayan sea salt is because it allows you to then intake more water so you can flush your system more, but it also helps improve the digestion and absorption. I mean, face it, hydrogen chloride, your body needs some chloride, sodium chloride, salt. You need some of that. You really do. You need that to start to make some of those stomach acids. And it's not going to cause the acid reflux. It's going to help to promote digestion. All right, another one of my favorites, avocado. I can't go overboard on avocado, unfortunately, because of lectin issues that I've had in the past and histamine issues. But I do eat avocado, without a doubt. Without a doubt, I do. And again, you could probably eat a lot more than I can. Just keep in mind, I grew up taking antibiotics 4 or 5 times a year for my entire life, till about 24 years old or so. Between the ages of 14 and 17, I took 2 antibiotics every day for 3 years straight, over 3,000 capsules of amoxicillin. Okay? From a gut level, like I feel great, but I have to keep in mind that I destroyed the 28 feet of digestive tract that I had. Absolutely eradicated and destroyed it. And again, I didn't know any better. My parents didn't know any better. And honestly, my doctors didn't know any better either. It's not really their fault. There's no blame. I don't need to forgive anybody. Nobody knew any better. It's just the way it was. So, although I feel great, I always want you to know there are things that I still have to avoid. And you know what? No big deal. Honestly, no big deal. To live the life that I live now, to feel as good as I feel right now, I'm happy to not go overboard in certain things. And that brings me to my next one. Seeds. Seeds are so good for your health, especially pumpkin seeds. That's my next one. Pumpkin seeds are something that I recommend tremendously. So right now, we're trying to create a nutritional bar. I don't even know what to call it, whether it's a protein bar, an energy bar. It's not any of those things. And the reason why I want to create this is because it's so hard to find a good one. That's the only time I ever create a nutritional supplement. Again, because it's so expensive and I don't want to spend all the money either to create these things. But the reason is too, we take these long car rides to Maine. It's like 2 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours, sometimes 3 hours, 3.5 in traffic, which is brutal. And I want to have nice things for myself and for my kids to munch on as well. And I travel a lot to speak and go to different places. I'm on an airplane and I want a nice, healthy thing. My private wellness clients are always asking, what can I have for a mid-afternoon snack? Like, what can I have? I'm going to try to get pumpkin seeds in it. Why? They're high in zinc. They're good for trying to prevent breast cancer, for prostate cancer in men. They're loaded with, like I said before, zinc, and they have lots of magnesium as well. They also have good iron, usable iron, so tremendous. So big believer in that. Nuts as well. Certain nuts like almonds, walnuts, pecans, macadamia, high in magnesium. What do? Well, they're great for the cardiovascular system, great for the brain, great for the blood pressure. I mean, they're fantastic. So unless you don't have, again, those high lectin-based issues, can be absolutely tremendous to add into your diet. Okay, sprouts. Too few of us eat sprouts, myself included, only because they're hard to get. But if you go to a Whole Foods, if you go to an actual place called Sprouts, which I know they have out west, not really in the New England area, then you can actually get these sunflower sprouts, that you can get these pea sprouts. And those are tremendous sources of magnesium, tremendous, super alkaline, give your body a ton of energy. Try them out. But again, with any new thing, just start with a tiny handful. That's it. Try a tiny handful with your meal. I love adding them to a meal. They give crunch, they give texture. Again, a little olive oil, a little sea salt, squeeze a lemon. Fantastic. Gives nice flavor to it. Now, the biggest one of all that you're probably not getting is sea vegetables. Really hard, right? One of the things that I like to do, and again, I know this is cheating, but add a little bit of those seaweed snacks or nori crinkles, any of those things that are going to have, yes, a great source of iodine. But I'll tell you this, they're also a huge source of magnesium for your body. And I already gave it away as iodine. So good for your thyroid. So good for detoxification, like really, honestly. And another thing I do, and again, I don't talk about all the things I do a heavy metal detox once a year, every single year. And it's only 6 weeks long, and it doesn't change my life. All I do is take supplements twice a day. That's it. I take some extra cracked cell chlorella. That's it. I do the cilantro with it. I do the vitamin C. We'll link it up in today's show notes. Super simple to do. You can do it yourself. What does it do? Well, it removes 90 to 93% of all the heavy metals, the mercury, the aluminum that you have in your body. Why wouldn't I do that, right? Why wouldn't I get a little extra chlorella in my body? All of these things that are absolutely huge and helpful. Kelp, all of those things, spirulina. You can get that. My daily fruit and vegetable blend. I'm getting these every day because I know I'm doing the tablespoon every day. And the reason why I'm doing the tablespoon every day and the reason why I recommend the Dr. Cabral Daily Protocol to you is because you're probably not getting sea vegetables, right? Where else would you get your chlorella? Chlorella, I can't even say it. Spirulina. You wouldn't get it because they're not normal things if you're in a country like US, UK, Australia, Canada. They're just not normal things that we eat. So unless you're going up for sushi and getting those things, you're not getting them that often. So again, that's why I can't recommend enough the daily fruit and vegetable blend. It gives you those things. It just helps you to be a healthier human. I always believe that this is like my Dr. Cabral Daily Protocol, which is just my daily nutritional support shake, my daily fruit and vegetable blend, and my probiotic. Those are just like my feel safes. I get all my vitamins and minerals that I need. I get my greens for the day, which is 22 organic fruits and vegetables in a powder. It takes me 30 seconds to do that. And I get my probiotics. That's it. If I do that, even if I don't do anything right for the rest of the day, especially like on travel days, I got everything I needed. Like that's how I look at it. Okay. I've got two more for you, and these are more fun ones. Everybody asks me, can I have chocolate? Can I have chocolate? Okay. Once you're well, once you're healthy, once you don't have the anxiety, the skin issues, the sleep issues, yes, then you can start to introduce the dark chocolate if you would like. Dark chocolate is loaded with magnesium. Loaded. That's one of the reasons why people crave it so much. You might not even be craving the chocolate. You might be craving the magnesium. That's why I start with the magnesium first before you go to the chocolate. I have people do a 3-week chocolate detox, basically. You start the Candida protocol, or you start, the Dr. Cabral detox, one of these things. You do the 21 days and you remove it, you feel better. And then when you have it once a week, twice a week, you really enjoy it. Not every night. You don't need it. Remember, the thing you enjoy it more when you don't have it all the time. But dark chocolate, organic-based source, that's the way to go. Really, it can be good for you when used sparingly as well. Same with coffee. Okay, I don't like to drink coffee on a daily basis. It is something that I enjoy, and it's strange because I didn't enjoy it till a little later in life. But I enjoy the ritual of it. I don't even need the coffee. I don't need the caffeine. So a lot of times I might even do like an organic decaf. But what I'm looking for is I'm getting the coffee as part of a ritual, kind of like it sets the day, all of those different things. But if you're someone right now suffering from insomnia, ADD, ADHD, anxiety, I don't recommend the caffeine. I don't, not at all. You can do green tea instead if you need a little bit of a boost. But then you can also go to the herbal teas as well, like ginger tea, those types of things. But coffee is actually an excellent source of antioxidants. It's an excellent source of magnesium. Remember, if you're doing well, if you are well, like people ask me, like, is coffee good or bad? I've done shows in this before, so check back on it because it's not good for the people in adrenal fatigue. It's not good for the people with anxiety. It's not good for the people who can't sleep, who can't calm down the central nervous system. It's not good, but it could be fine by 1 cup. I'm not talking about a gallon of coffee. I'm talking about 1 cup after breakfast, after a meal, not before, because you don't want to stimulate the nervous system that much, right? But it can also help with digestion. Today's show is not on coffee, but here's the thing. Coffee can be okay if we don't overdo it. And when you look at it from that perspective, it can also be a food source, right? It's a food source. It's also a supplement. That's why it's a supplement that you can get a lot of antioxidants from. Don't overdo it, or just do like I try to do. Just try to have it maybe on the weekends. And it's kind of a fun thing to do as well. So those are my top 10 sources of magnesium. Again, I could go on and on, but magnesium is one of those super important things. If you want the immediate boost to reducing the insomnia-based issues, just look at the deep sleep protocol we have. And if you just want to add more magnesium to your life to start to get more of those benefits, simply take 3 of the full spectrum magnesium. And we'll link those up in the show notes today. Full spectrum magnesium is a magnesium, the most absorbable magnesium form that you can get. And if you're already good and balanced, you say, okay, let's just say I'm a 50-year-old woman. I don't have any of these specific issues, but I want to make sure I get enough magnesium. Really simple. You can take 2 to 3 or even a little bit more of the Cal Mag Complete, and that will allow you to get both calcium and magnesium. But initially, in order to calm the central nervous system, you probably want to do just the magnesium, get the calcium from your diet, but the magnesium supplementation, that seems to help the most. So again, you can always start with just 1 capsule. That will always be great. See how you feel. Go to 2 capsules, go to 3 capsules if you want. If you're a private wellness client, sometimes I'll go even more. But again, we need to work on an individual basis. So full spectrum magnesium as a nutritional supplement, or the deep sleep protocol to help you get into a deeper, more relaxed sleep, which has that magnesium citrate right in it as well. And then stick to those. Look to include more of those top 10 magnesium foods that I gave you today. And they don't all have to be in one day. One day can be spinach, another day avocado, then some pumpkin seeds, a little bit of sea salt, some nuts, some sprouts, some sea vegetables, a little bit of dark chocolate. Those are all enjoyable things. We can get more of them in our diet. The goal is to live a healthier, happier life, one step at a time. Thank you everyone for tuning into the Cabral Concept. I appreciate each and every one of your listens. Please do feel free to share this show with anyone it could help. Ever wonder what the best sauna, blue blockers, sleep trackers, wake lights, salt lamps, or other health gadgets are? Or what about the top non-toxic mattresses, sheets, soaps, bath products, toothpaste, and cookware? Or would you like to know the cleanest choices for hemp parts, meal delivery services, supplements, and much more? I personally curated, researched, and now created a resource page of all of my top picks that continues to grow each week. These are the exact products I use in my own life, with my family, in my private practice, and they're the ones I trust. To find out all of my up-to-date recommendations and all the details, simply head on over to stephencabral.com/resources.